Before I ever read Friedrich Nietzsche, I was very much living his philosophies. I was very disillusioned. I was angry. I was resentful. I thought strength came from rejecting everything around me, the people around me, what they wanted for me, everything like this. I said, no, do not forget who I am. That is until Jung came along into my life. That's how it worked. And you know how I found Jung? In AA. And you know how I ended up in AA? Because I was the Ubermensch. Now, this won't be the path for everyone, clearly. But me trying to brute force my way through life in this way. And look, I won many battles, sure, but what was the quality? I can't click that. What was the quality of life that I would have had? Holding something down. Do I look in control? Maybe I'm holding it down. But am I in control? Is that a control that's sustainable to anyone? Okay. See, this is why I have notes, because I'll start ranting. And by the way, Carl Jung is not flawless, but if you learn integration the way that Carl Jung talks about, Nietzsche's philosophies really become kind of embarrassing and pitiful, and they really fall on their face because it's not sustainable. Nietzsche died in his room alone, metaphorically at least. He was the Ubermensch of an empty room, and through resentment and isolation, that's where that was the life that he wanted. The more I stepped away from that Nietzschean posture, the more I saw what it actually does. It doesn't transform people. It doesn't uplift them. It gives them justification for their hatred, for their resentments. It's a really nowhere field. There's no clear direction towards integration. No responsibility being given. It is simply critique. And to me, it really matters because Nietzsche really just diagnosed a problem and then stopped. Worse is he dressed up frustration as profanity. And what is it with guys in the 1900s with really performative mustaches and resentment? What is that? That's where I grow mine out, man. It's real. It isn't this performance for you. Like this or like this. Really, yeah, I do a little to keep myself presentable, but I am no way performing. You like my show, but I'm not performing for you. Nietzsche's work dismantles meaning, community, shared values, and replaces them with abstract ideals that no real human can live out. That's a hot take. That's a hot take. Because if you look at Nietzsche's life, it was nothing of the Ubermensch. And then some say, well, he was never claiming to be an Ubermensch. He was just saying we should be. But in this way, Nietzsche was like a parent that was not only dissatisfied with their life, but feeling that you are not even holding up to the standards that they have. So their resentments from their own failures and you not living up to their expectations. They criticize you and they call you stupid. You are no good. You are weak, and the weak deserve to die. You don't think that's Nietzsche? Okay. It's because you are Nietzsche, just admit it. You're Nietzsche. Also, don't buy that Nietzsche was unique. That's actual another thing. People think he was some revolutionary. We have had people in the internet can help you. The internet should help you clear up Nietzsche. There are kids even today, and I'm a millennial, so I don't know if it started with us or not. I thought it would have, but the internet, thank God. We were born in the wrong generation. You always hear this, especially as a millennial. I was born in the wrong generation. Back then, stuff used to mean things. Music and God and all this. That story is as old as having children is, right? Either the parents look at the kids' world now and they're like, what the fuck happened? Or the kids look at their world and romanticize what they don't even know. That is best with like lore, folklore, stories. And what really bothers me about Nietzsche is he really doesn't give a direction. He says, we must tear down the norms. What norms? Tear it all down. Tear what down? Overcome these people. Who are these people? Nietzsche. It leaves a lot of room for resentment. Yeah, I say he never gets concrete, and that vagueness is doing a lot of the work. And see, here it is. Nietzsche leaves you room. He gives you this resentment language. And don't worry, you'll plug in yours to it. And now you have this framework, this will to power now that you will have. He is broad enough to ignite resentment and vague enough to dodge responsibility. God damn. Attracts people who already feel powerless and angry and hands them a language that flatters those feelings instead of challenges them. That's where Nietzsche really, and this is how I know I'm not a healed, okay? I'm a Jungian. I practice this stuff. Integration was important because you know why? When I start to think about Nietzsche, I'm like, this dude's a cuck. This dude is a cuck, brother. He sits in the corner, or maybe he waves his fist out of the window and says, boo to you. This is all really gay, by the way. And I would do better than that. Yeah, Of course you would think that. Way to be fucking pretentious, Nietzsche. Society has always been functional and broken. Nietzsche wasn't a revolutionary for pointing this out, but he was in fact a bigger loser for doing nothing, all while bitching about it consistently. And living a life that's quite embarrassing, quite frankly. Hey, look, Jesus kind of tried. Gandhi tried. People say, yeah, well, Gandhi wore a diaper. At least he kept his shit to himself. A philosophy that tears down without building doesn't transcend the problem, it joins it. And really, if you look at today's world, look at where we're at. What philosophy do you think has been practiced in the last 100 years in America? Do you think anyone has tried any Jungian stuff? Or do you feel like Nietzsche, the will to power? Do you look around, it's the will to power. Now you have the world. And guess what? The will to power is not open to everyone like they want you to think. I mean, maybe back then when we could have formed a ragtag group of guys with swords and ran into the castle. If anything, the power would want you to instigate. And if anything, they instigate in order for you to clap back. It is really redonkulous to me to think that this mindset, it's archaic. And it's not even that our government is better than it now. I'm not even trying to say that. But it's like, good luck with it. Go rush the Capitol. Go rush the White House and see what change you will have. What will to power? No more norms. Boo, White House. To me, Nietzsche wasn't a conqueror of nihilism. He was a nihilist with a microphone. He taught you how to be a flashy nihilist. And I think it's pretty cringe. And, I'm not saying Jung had all the answers, but like, as I say, we're 100 years out, let's just say, from both of them. And who do you think people listen to? Who do you think's in the hearts and minds of people today? Nietzsche or Jung? Or does that mean Nietzsche was right? Or does Nietzsche speak to a certain type of person? And that allows those people the Übermensch. And I say this as my ending point. If you're truly dead set on rejecting social norms, you want to be a fucking problem, why stop at Nietzsche? Nietzsche is way too safe, dude. Because all Nietzsche wants to do is bitch. Okay? Now, I'm talking like I'm a little upset, but it's because the fact is strong. And if you don't present it in such a way, people would just say, you're the exact type of person that Nietzsche was referring to, these weaker people. Because I don't have a concept of the will to power. But it is much easier to see with someone like Diogenes how to truly dismiss these norms and how to act in malicious compliance even. We could wank it off in the street and tell Socrates to go fuck himself. This is not what Nietzsche was doing. Nietzsche was, and you deserve the life that you have, and all who follow you. Eat that. But that's why integration is important for me, because that's your Nietzschean talking. So here, I am here to say that it's to miss the point to listen to Nietzsche. I mean, it is to consider years and years of this brutality, this through force of how you're going to mold the world around your fears instead of integrate yourself into a world that might be a little scary. I mean, look here. Look at Carl. He don't even know what to think. Maybe he does. That is enough of you.